Hello, hello, hello. How are you doing, guys? We're back again. It's Sunday morning. The sun is shining, and coaches and consultants, I'm talking about how to create a six-figure mindset. So, if you're joining me for the first time, please do remember my name is Leon Street, and the best way for you to get my content is to make sure you follow me. If you want to follow me on YouTube, you can go to leonstreet.com/YouTube. If you're following me or if you're watching me on Instagram, please do give me a follow on the profile. And remember, today, specifically, I'm talking about how to create a six-figure mindset. And I guess, it's one of those things that either sets people alight or it's one of those things that puts people off. And I see it quite often because when you talk about money, people have different beliefs around money, and it can create something that's either exciting, it can create something that is compelling, or it can create something that turns you off to the idea of where you're going in your business and really what your focus is on. And I find a lot of people, they either sit one side of the fence or the other. And so for me, I'm talking about how to create a six-figure mindset for those people who really want to take their life to the next level. And it's not because, the focus is money and money is, the only thing that you should focus on. No, when you get to six figures, it actually creates the opportunity for you to have more freedom in your life. And for me, I think that's probably one of the biggest things that people miss around what money is, what money can do for you, because the reality is that money is simply energy. It's an exchange of energy for, especially as a coach or consultant, when you deliver different services, that's going to be the thing that allows you to tap into the opportunities that you can create and the freedom you can create because of generating a certain level of income. Because if you look at life and how life is, we all have basic costs: houses, mortgages, rents, bills that come with the house, costs for buying food, for supporting you, your family. And these are the things where kind of basic costs need to cover those things. But after that, how do you pay for bucket list items, going on holiday, different things that you want to celebrate with you, your family, buying gifts, buying presents, treating yourself, buying a car? Well, the reality is that if you want to be able to have more freedom of choice, freedom of options, then six figures starts to put you on that path to having more freedom, having more choice, having more opportunity to do the things that actually cost money, that actually take more energy, because after all, money is energy. So today I'm going to take you through my 10 steps of what you can do to create a six-figure mindset. I've done six figures multiple times. And what I can say is that, it really, it opens up the doors to what's possible, right? We've all heard of people doing 6, 7, 8, 9 figures, billions of dollars, different people, perhaps some people who we look up to. And these people might be, our heroes. These people might be, the kind of people that you look up to and you perhaps think, well, they were lucky or it's okay for them. And perhaps you're thinking, well, how is it possible for me? So let's get into that. I'm going to start with a quote, first of all, with Jim Rohn. And so Jim Rohn says, formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune. And I think it's the perfect way for me to start today's live stream, because part of making six figures really comes down to, when I say part, a big part comes down to how much you personally develop. And so you may have heard the term personal development. And this is why I love the quote from Jim Rohn: a formal education will make you a living, self-education will make you a fortune. The more you work on yourself and the more you evolve as a human during your journey on this planet, the more that you give yourself the opportunity to actually create more income, or a fortune, in the words of Jim Rohn. And I guess, for a lot of people, making six figures, it's a big thing, because six figures is, it's this number, and it's not like you must make six figures. But I'm here just to share, for those of you who do have aspirations of making six figures, whether it's 10,000 a month or getting to 100,000 a month, both of which I've done. It's important because it's a result. It's not why you do what you do. You got to understand that the money is a result. It's not your reason. It's not your why. And this is where people get mixed up and mistaken. And I've seen it quite a lot, especially around people growing up, where they would use words like, I'm chasing the money, or I'm all about the paper, meaning I'm all about getting paid. Whereas the reality is that making six figures it's more about what you do, what you believe in, and the mindset that you have in order to put value out into this world and to get a result of six figures, whether that's 10,000 a month or 100,000 a month. And so if you look at the definition of a six figure or six figures, it's a salary or income of between 100,000 and 999,000. So it's 999,999. So, whatever it is, but less than a million, but 100,000 or more. And whether that's pounds or dollars or euros that I'm talking about. And so that's the definition that comes from the Cambridge Dictionary. It's, it's very simple. Basically, if you want to work it out in monthly income, it would work out to 8,333 pounds, pence, or euros. And for a lot of people, it's like I said, it's an aspirational goal. That's the definition. Well, let's have a look at what's the problem. See, before I even get into these problems, I just want to talk about, when I say the problem, you see, a lot of people want to make six figures. And remember, when I say make six figures, that's not your goal in business. Your goal is the value that you put out into the marketplace to solve the problem that your target audience have, right? That's your goal, so that you can do work that you're passionate about, that you love, that you feel inspired by, that you feel called and compelled to deliver as your duty, right? That's the first step. But what is the problem? Well, there are many problems, believe it or not. And I'm going to kick off with this one. So you don't think you deserve it on a subconscious level. And what do I mean by that? Outwardly, you might say, I'm worth six figures, or I should be earning six figures, or I believe I can earn six figures. But on a subconscious level, so let's say, between you and the conversations that you have with yourself, and not the stuff that you project outwardly, you don't think you deserve it. Yeah. And not only do you don't think you deserve it, you don't think you can pull it off, i.e., you ever make it happen. And this is part of the problem, because it starts with your mindset. It's not the fact that it's not possible. It's not the fact that others aren't doing it. It's just that you may have this belief, especially if you've never been to six figures, or you've inconsistently hit like 10,000 a month, and you just don't know how to just tap into it so it's more consistent. It comes down to your beliefs. And on a subconscious and unconscious level, there's a lot to do with things that you've learned from your past that are holding you back. It can be your environment, can be different things. Number two is, which is part of the problem, you have a reason why you will never achieve it, which is the second question that I mentioned, which is you don't think you can pull it off. So you have a reason. Yeah, and that reason might seem real to you, might seem like a valid excuse, but it's part of the problem. As a culture consultant, your business model might be holding you back, where, let's say, you offer services and you quote based on an hourly rate, but your hourly rate is in line with, let's say, the 9-to-5 working population, not you as a business owner. And so even then, your business model is part of the problem. Your business model might be holding you back from making six figures, might be holding you back from making 10,000 a month. And number four, part of the problem, you have fear of charging what you're worth. And believe it or not, I see this so often. And this is a common problem with coaches and consultants, where they want to hit six figures. And like I said, six figures is a result. Six figures isn't the reason why you do what you do. It's the outcome. Yeah. But I see so many coaches, especially who I speak to, and I have people who reach out to me and they want to find out how I can help them. This is just a really quick example. And we get to the point where I ask them questions about their business, because the only way I can truly help somebody, or anybody can help somebody, is understanding where a person is and where they want to be, right? Because if you know where they are, then you understand what they need to have in their business right now. And therefore, if they tell you where they want to be, you understand the difference between the two, from A to B. But I have this quite a lot, where they'll reach out to me, slide into my DMs, and they're the kind of person who really wants to charge what they're worth and make six figures. But then I asked them about their business. I'm like, tell me where you are right now, honest and open conversation. And then I say, tell me where you want to be. And you'll be probably shocked or surprised or not that a lot of people won't answer that question, and then they'll ghost. And it's because I know they're not making that amount of money, and they feel if they reveal that, there's some type of shame or guilt that is attached to the revealing of the fact that it's just a result. It doesn't mean who they are. So fear of charging what you're worth and self-worth, it has such a big part to play in you achieving six figures. And it has such a big part because people have this attachment to the shame and guilt of not being where they want to be. But the reality is that you can't get to where you want to be until you've done the work and acknowledge that the fact that you're just where you are. It doesn't mean that you have to have shame or guilt, and it doesn't mean that you have to believe in your current situation. And therefore, the total sum of your bank account is not who you are. It's just a result. But who you are is way more than that, as long as you allow yourself to open up to it. But like I said, this is part of the problem. So what else is part of the problem? Subconsciously, you don't know why you can't. And this is a big one, actually. I remember before I hit six figures in my business, in my mind, it was kind of like, how can I make this possible? I remember when I first got into business, I was floating at around 65 to 75,000 a year. And I guess at some point, if you converted it into dollars, I probably hit six figures. But in the UK, obviously, we trade in pounds, British pounds, sterling. And so for me, it was important to hit six figures in pounds, Great British pounds. And I remember just floating there, and I just couldn't work out why I couldn't get any more than that at that point in time. And subconsciously, I had things going on that were blinding me to either asking for help or going out to find a way to make my business go to six figures. And again, this is a big problem for coaches and consultants. There's so many out there who they won't ask for help, or they're at the point where they know that they need to ask for help, but their current situation stops them from even asking for help because they look at their bank account or the money they have in their wallet or their purse, and they're like, oh, I don't have enough, so I won't ask because I know I'll need to pay something. But rather than asking to find out the next steps, they're even stopping themselves before they ask the next steps of what it's going to take and what it's going to involve. Because yes, there's always a cost to personally developing yourself and educating yourself, but also there's the other part of it, which is, well, what's the mindset? What other things do I need to have in place? And this is where I'm going to lead you to next. I've got 10 steps coming up for you to explain and show you how you can hit six figures, or you can create that six-figure mindset to lead you and take you there. So what's another problem? Well, think of any other problem, right, or reason why you don't deserve to be at six figures. It could be your environment. It could be, so for instance, like I coach women. Some of them are single parents, and that hasn't stopped them. But this can be a valid excuse to another person, to another woman. It could be guys who, same thing, single parent, different circumstances, and looking after the child becomes the reason not to go for their goal. When in fact, when they achieve that result, it opens up more opportunity and choice for them and their family. Yeah, it's like a catch-22. And I remember being in this situation as well when I had two kids. I've got three now, but when I had two, I remember at one point I was thinking like, gosh, like I need to show up as a father, so therefore I can't fully commit to my business. And yet, if I don't fully commit to my business, I can't create the result, the income that I want to be able to do the things, have choices for me and my kids and family, right? And again, this is like the catch-22 situation that you start finding yourself in. And, there's a million and one different excuses, right, as to why we don't deserve to be at six figures. And I'm sure a lot of you can probably relate to this. So what's the solution? Well, I'm going to take you through the 10 steps to a six-figure mindset. And guys, if you got any comments as I'm going through the 10 steps to a six-figure mindset, please drop them below this video now. If you got any questions, or if I don't answer something that you're thinking of as a reason as to why you're in your current situation or how you can create a six-figure mindset, then please drop it in a comment now. So number one, vision. You may have come across this, you may have seen this. So vision is all about your reason why. There was a great book by Simon Sinek. I don't know, it's on my bookshelf somewhere. I don't know exactly where. It's on one of them, might be over there. But anyway, he has this book called Start With Why. It's a great book to look at, because vision is all about you thinking of where you want to take your coaching business or consulting business, and the fact that it doesn't already exist. And some of you may have come across vision. Do you have a vision for this part of your life, that part of your life? The reality is that you got to have a vision for your whole life. So your business, your family, for you, your personal self, for your time, for the emotions you want to have, for your community, for your friends. Like, what vision do you have for your entire life, right? Because you can create many different things. But I find a lot of people they don't have a vision where their business is doing 6 figures or more. Yeah. Because they don't have that vision. They have nothing to aim for. Without vision, without why, you have no purpose. Yeah. And without no purpose, you drift. You go with the flow. You don't go with your flow. And for me, you got to start with your vision. Number 2, you got to have belief and faith. And, quite often, and I can't remember the exact quote, but I'm sure I'm going to butcher it anyway, but I'll mention it. There's a quote by Martin Luther King that, you've got to have faith when you step out, and it's almost like stepping out at the top of your stairs in the dark. You take that step knowing there is a step below, in the faith and having belief that you won't fall down the stairs, right? And it's the same thing in business. You just got to have the faith that 6 figures is part of the end results that you're going to be able to create in your business because of the value you're going to bring. You must have belief and faith, even when your income isn't showing that you're already at 6 figures, and when times are tough, when things are difficult, like, we've had the past 16 months of lockdowns, and people have been hurt financially, and people have found it a challenge. And for me, this is one of the big things that you really have to buy into. You just have to have belief and faith. And at first, you might not have strong belief or strong faith, but you've got to have it nonetheless. You've got to make it part of who you are, because with your vision, it needs you to have faith and belief that it will be possible. And so if you don't have it, and your belief and faith, is never there, then that's a problem. It's okay if it wanes. It's okay if some days you don't have a strong belief or strong faith, or even it's okay if some days you just feel like, I don't think this is ever going to happen. That's normal. That's normal, and that happens. Believe me, it happens when you've done 10,000, when you've done 100,000 a month. It happens. You still have, you can't get away from how your mind works. And there was this research done in 2005 by the National Science Foundation, and they found that as human beings, we have 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day, and of that many thoughts in a day, 80% of our thoughts are negative. And for me, it's okay if your belief and faith aren't strong all the time, so long as that when you wake up every day, you can renew that faith and belief. Yeah. So long as you take proactive action, that's the key. So what's number 3 in my 10 steps to a 6-figure mindset? Your subconscious mind, the stuff that you don't consciously have control on. Yeah. But you can alter, you can change, you can develop. So when I'm talking about the subconscious mind, I'm talking about knowing and understanding your misbehaviors, knowing your limiting beliefs and what you feel they are, past mistakes, and not having regret or attached shame or trauma linked to that, and knowing that you can let it go. And bad habits, there's bad habits that I've gotten rid of over time. And more recently, one of the bad habits that I got rid of was and we're talking about probably like 2 months ago, I was gaming on my iPad, not like computer gaming or PlayStation or Xbox, but I got into this game with my son about a year ago, and it was cool because it was like father and son bonding time. So we'd play the game together, and it was just on this iPad, this little game. And then in the end, I started playing it when he wasn't around. And so now I'm spending more time doing this thing. And actually what I realized is taking me away from the things that I do actually want to do, my goals and the other work that I want to do. And it was so easy because when you pick up bad habits, it's usually because they're easy to do, and they give you a quick hit of dopamine because you get results, you get feedback. And that's usually what happens with bad habits. It's where you can do something quite easy and it gives you this feel good feeling, this dopamine hit, and other things that are going on biologically with you as human beings. And that's why you continue them. It's because you keep getting that hit. It's why people go to drugs and alcohol and different things, pornography and whatever else, right? And so I consciously made a decision, because I realized, like, what am I doing? And this is the thing with your subconscious. You have to understand that, like, where are you spending your time? Because usually if you don't know what your bad habits are, you can figure them out when you start looking at where do you spend your time. And if you track your time throughout a week, You'll start to see where your bad habits creep in. Are you Netflixing too much? Are you spending too much time in, gaming, alcohol, or, whatever it is, right? You'll figure out what your misbehavior is, what your bad habit is, and that's how you can take action, because you become aware. So what's step number 4? Alter ego. So if you understand that you will have misbehaviors, you'll have bad habits, well, who do you want to become? And the best way to do it is look at your alter ego. So for instance, if you look at Bruce Wayne from the DC comics, he was this billionaire, but his alter ego was Batman. That's who he wanted to become. He wanted to save the world. And the reason why, because his parents were murdered when he was a young boy in front of him. So he wanted to change things. So for you in your business, who do you want to become in order to create 6 figures? What is your alter ego? What values do you embody? Perhaps there are 5 to 10 people that you really love, like your heroes, the people you look into or look up to. What values and traits do you want to take on board that they have, that you want to have in your alter ego, and use that to propel you going forward? And every time you feel a bit weak, or you feel a bit like vulnerable to your ability to achieve 6 figures, you go back to that 6-figure alter ego, like, and embody those values, embody those beliefs, embody the state, embody the mindset of that person. And then, like I call myself, my alter ego is Leon 2.0. Leon the Lion. And when I say that, I also understand all the values and beliefs that I attach to it. I'm clear on the decisions I'm making. I'm clear on the income I'm going to make. I'm clear on the value I'm going to bring to my community. I'm clear on the impact and the changes I'm going to make to people who need my help. So what's step number 5 to a 6-figure mindset? Your role. So you got to understand in your business, you got to understand that there are 3 key roles, and this comes from the E-Myth, Michael Gerber, really great book, and he speaks about the roles of a visionary, a manager, and a technician. In order to create 6 figures, you have to really lock into being the visionary. And remember, look, I started today with my top 10 tips for creating a 6-figure mindset, with number 1 being vision. Here's another guy speaking about being visionary. That's what it means. You've got to hold the vision in hand. You've got to understand where the opportunities lie that relate to your vision, and not get caught up in being the manager or the technician. Perhaps you'll need to consider hiring VAs, subcontractors, freelancers, and different people to help grow that business. Why? Because you don't want to be stuck doing the technician and manager work when it requires you to be the visionary to ensure the end result is achieved, right? Not ensure that you are stuck in work, because that's the kind of 9-to-5 mentality, and where you can get caught up and caught off track. Step 6 is business model. If you're going to create 6 figures, your business model must allow it. So are you charging, as an example, anything like £3,000 to £5,000, dollars or euros for your coaching services, your consulting services? If you're charging less, you're going to have to attract more customers. Whereas if you were charging like 5,000 to get to 100,000, you're only going to need 20 clients in a year. Yeah. Whereas if you charge $1,000 or pounds or euros for your services, you're going to need 100. If you charge less than that, like 500, then you're going to need 200. And so you can see that if your business model allows it, the way that your business model works, the amount of work you've got to do and what you charge, it creates leverage. And you create leverage for a problem that somebody can pay £3,000 to £5,000, dollars or euros for, then you're going to create at least the opportunity, the model. So when you go out to your audience and you start selling, that you can achieve that result that you want to achieve. So what's step number 7? Value. Like, what value do you bring? Understand the value that you bring. Understand the value that people put upon a solution that you can provide for the problem that they have. This is such a big one. I have this with my clients, have it in my coaching program, actually. I have something called the client value and price calculator. And I use this to show the coaches and consultants who work with me how much value they bring to their clients, so that when they charge anything from £3,000 to £10,000, dollars or euros, they understand that the value they bring is usually 5, 10 to 20 times more than the price they charge. And they're always surprised and shocked when they do this exercise, which is really cool. And this is the key thing, where a lot of people, they don't understand the difference between value and price, right? So my step number 8 is selling. If you want to get to 6 figures and have the 6-figure mindset, you got to sell. So if you have fear of selling, do some training on sales, do some training on what is your fear and your misbehavior in your subconscious and unconscious mind around sales and what money means. I know there are different sayings like money is the root of all evil, but what I can tell you is that the the lack of education around money is actually the root of all evil. The fear and the misunderstanding of what money can do for you is the root of all evil. You got to understand, as I said earlier, 6 figures of money is a result. It's not why you do what you do. If you bring value and you create impact, the result is you getting paid, right, as a cultural consultant. And this is the key thing for me. So you must have sales as almost like a top 3 priority in your business, behind marketing. Well, not behind, but as part of marketing and operations in your business. Number 9, if you want to create a 6-figure mindset, you got to get some coaching. You're not going to do it all alone, especially if you've never been there and you've struggled to get there, or you've struggled to be consistently in that place where your run rate will take you to 6 figures. The biggest breakthroughs I've had in my career as a business owner, as a coach, a consultant, have all come from coaches and the money I've invested in coaches. And it speeds up your journey and it helps you see your blind spots and misbehaviors, the things you just won't see on your own. And step number 10, find a community of like-minded people. You got to be around people who are also going for 6 figures and beyond and have that value first mindset. They have the vision. They really want to create impact and change. The more you're around these types of people, the more you're attracted in, the more you'll become a being who vibrates at that level. And the energy you bring in the room, the energy you bring on the products, the services, the webinars, the VSLs, the trainings, all those different things, it just exudes 6 figures. And it's because you bring it, you believe it, you have faith in it, and you've got a vision for it. And that's what this is all about, guys. I hope these steps will help you to go to that next level. And if you've enjoyed this, then I'd love to say to you, please do make sure you give me a follow, and I'll give you some specifics on how you can follow me in a minute. But I want to leave you this final quote. If you want to change the fruits, you will first have to change the roots. If you want to change the visible, you must first change the invisible. From T. Harv Eker, author of Millionaire Mind. It's a great book if you haven't read it already. Secrets to the Millionaire Mind, or Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. He's talking about it there. You've got to change the roots. You've got to change you. If you want to change what you're seeing, you've got to change what you're not seeing. Unconscious, subconscious mind. That's how you'll get yourself to the 6-figure mindset, guys. Don't believe the hype of all the other things, especially if you want to do it with the mindset and with the model of creating value for the people that you're going to change their lives for. So finally, guys, if you want help growing your business to over 10,000 a month and create 6 figures, so if you want to get to 10,000 in 60 days, then comment mindset below this video and I will reach out to you and send you more details on how you can make that possible. And finally, if you do want to subscribe to my channel because you've enjoyed this content, go to leonstreet.com/YouTube, or just go to YouTube and find me as Leon Street. For those of you watching me on Instagram, just give me a follow on the profile and you'll be notified of all my upcoming lives that I put out. And on that note, guys, I just want to say to you, go create your 6 figures. Yeah, it's possible for all of us. It's just whether or not we want to get past our problems and implement the 10 steps that I shared with you today. So enjoy the rest of your Sunday morning, afternoon, or evening. Take care. Bye-bye.